Planche, hoping for a little bit lower cockpit temperatures in his car, hoping for a little less drama, perhaps, is Tom Chilton. Ben Constangiris is with him.
Tom's just getting himself comfortable in the car. The glasses are going on. Tom, what happened in race 1?
Yeah, I made a bit of a mistake through turn 5. The car ran wide on a bump a bit more than I expected, and I just drifted wide. You can see that everyone's struggling on the front tyres, so we're making the cars as tail happy as we possibly can, and yeah, mine just went too fast.
A similar situation to what you had in warm-up, the back end getting away, and then luckily no barriers too close this time.
Yeah, basically, and luckily the barriers aren't too close this time, yeah.
And what are you doing to the car to make it better for you in this race?
We're making a couple of tweaks, but inherently I'm still trying to make sure, because I want this car to be really fast at the end of the race. So I'm trying to make some good decisions from engineers to make sure that A, I can stay on the circuit, and B, I don't run off the road with oversteer.
Thanks for your time, Tom.
Well, Matt Neal, in the morning warm-up, he was saying that he was using the bump steer suspension setup on the car for the first time, and it rather caught him out. And it looks as though it is still a little tail happy for what he's very happy with. I mean, again, that view, he got tank slapped off the track.
Yeah, it's... I now realise I thought he was pushed rather than he jumped in that race 1. So, yeah, it's just... Tom's not having a good weekend, is he?
Not the best, not the best. More pace than last year with the Aon Team Fords, but not an awful lot of luck. Oh, pit lane closes in 5 minutes 49. I was just wondering, that's a very quick 15 minutes.
But one thing's for sure, Martin, you know, Tom can be quick, he's in a good car, and he's got track position to the other real 4 quick guys on the grid, so he's got an opportunity in this race too if everything goes right for him. If he can get it right, get his head together and get the car working as he'd like it, then he's got an opportunity for a really good result.
Well, of course, the car really now revolves around 10-time ice racing champion Ivan Muller, who essentially you could disconnect the rear wheels and put it on a shopping trolley and he'd still drive it out of the corners. So either Tom's got to get the setup to suit him or he's got to suit the setup, and I'm not sure which is the quickest way of doing it. The problem with being a racing driver is that when it comes to instinct, it's very hard to unlearn what you know, and so it tends to be that you want the car to work for you in those extreme moments where you've got a fraction of a second to save it.
Well, it's nothing like a road car you're going to drive. It's something, you know, it's hard to describe because the cars are constantly on the edge. You know, we see them going round. But what you can't see from the TV angles or literally from the side of the circuit, there's always a factor which is stopping the driver from going faster. Either the front's braking away, the rear's braking away, and it's marginal. It's just driving to that very fine edge of where you're not going to start sliding it too much and slowing the car down.
Let's get down to Dario Desposito, the team manager at Honda. See how happy he is. He's with Ben.
Dario, Italians are known for the emotion of success and failure. Gabrielli put some great words on the first victory for Honda. But for the 3 cars to be on the podium, how does that feel for the guys inside the team?
It's amazing. We did a big force in the last 2 weeks after Marrakesh. You know what's happened. We had 2 big accidents, and Italian people show the emotion maybe a little bit more than other people, but believe me, it's very, very, very big emotion for us.
And just speaking a little bit about the fact that there are the 3 cars on the podium, a big effort this weekend from your colleagues down at Zengo.
I'm very, very, very happy, and then looking for the race in Hungary. They will be racing in-house, at home. And I appreciate that they work so hard with us. It's a very good relationship. We support them, they support us. So I hope that they do their best in this race, and they cross the finger for Hungary for them.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, he won't be alone in crossing his fingers for Hungary. Apologies for the noises off in the background there. Incidentally, Matt Neal appears to be trying to disassemble the commentary position item by item, one thing at a time. We will get to that in a minute. No repair time for us, though. Ivan Muller heading out to pit lane already. Just double-checking the pedals, making sure the brake pedal is there where he wants it. And he heads off And Matt, you pointed out, well, we'll talk about tyres in a little moment. Cars heading out onto the grid here in Slovakia.
Japan quality. Yokohama. Your tire.
Mobil 1 don't just supply oils and lubricants to the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes Formula 1 team, they also provide vital trackside support at race weekends.
The Mobil engineers are part of the race team and they perform a vital role.
They know how much oil we're using, what's going on with the gearbox oil, and to have that on hand throughout a Grand Prix is key to succeed.
It's not just the oil Mobil 1 put in a car that counts, it's also what they take out and analyse.
Every time the driver comes in and parks it in the garage, a sample of the engine oil or a sample of the gearbox oil is taken out and tested.
We analyse the oils in this laboratory. We call it the Mobil Analytical Centre, where we look at the gearbox oils, hydraulic oils and the gear oils.
And we can tell from that, through that forensic analysis, whether the gearbox is performing and wearing as we expect.
During the course of a weekend, we probably take 20 oil samples. We look at the metals, which are a tenth of a width for human hair. So that gives us a pretty good indication of the engine life or the gearbox life, or any problems which may be coming along.
A failure of an engine or a failure of a gearbox results in a grid penalty, and if you've just worked incredibly hard to get your driver on pole position, hopefully, and then through some reliability issue you have to go backwards, it's very painful and very costly.
We look back to 2008, our championship winning year. We were analysing the oils in Turkey and found a fault with the engine. That fault was rectified, and at the next race in Monaco we went on to win. That was vital to the team winning the Drivers' Championship.
Mobil 1 have been partners with this team for a very long time, and when you're working together on the technology side, that really does make a big difference. I think we'd be pretty lost without that partnership.
Holidays?
No.
Business?
No.
Friends?
No.
Why are you so far away from home?
I have no idea.
Japan quality. Yokohama. Your tire.
23 degrees and climbing, air temperature 42 degrees of track temperature very nearly at this sunny Slovakia ring, getting ready for the start of round 6 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. Martin Haven and Matt Neal, who has just celebrated 500 race starts in the British Touring Car Championship and 3 British titles to boot, sits alongside me. And Matt, entertaining racetrack, tight, folded into a fairly small piece of land, but it gives a lot of opportunities for different cars to show their various different characteristics.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by it. It's wide, it's open, gives overtaking opportunities. It's very long, probably the second longest circuit we go to, so it's very hard on tyres, a lot of never-ending corners, which just seem to tighten up on the driver as you go on. You know, and we've seen a lot of the big names making mistakes throughout the weekend. You know, Tarquini went off. He's just blitzed that race one, but he went off twice in free practice through the final turn. So it just, anything can happen. The race isn't going to be over till the last lap.
Behind Coronel and Oriola for Holland and Spain, 4 of the 6 Brits on the grid line up together. Nash, Huff, McDowell and Chilton. James Thompson further back. And Tom Boardman right at the back again. Probably will not be on the grid. Likely to just run in and out of the pit lane, installing this new engine in his Seat, the 4th engine they have thrown at the car this weekend. The Seat Sportmen have worked very hard indeed on that. Dowler Young and Franz Engstler at the back of the grid. Mikhail Kozlowski should be ahead of Engstler, should be behind Engstler, but looks as though Franz will be behind him on the grid. There's Michel Nukia. Will start in 12th place. And the Nika Racing team from Sweden with their Danish driver. Winners in Marrakesh. And really now trying to keep that kind of form going. They've got the car. The Chevy Cruze, the same as those run by RML and Bamboo Engineering. And they haven't got a huge amount of experience of these tracks, but with his engineer, Nigel Clyde, doing a really good job. Mehdi Banani. Well, let's see if the Moroccan driver can produce something from here. 11th place on the race 1 and race 2 grid. Battling hard. Matt Neal, we talked about tyres at the beginning of race 1. Everybody apart from Muller and Tarquini had fresh tyres on, brand new tyres. Muller and Tarquini had scrubbed tyres, which means they'd done a lap or two in free practice or morning warm-up or something. They'd had a heat cycle put through them, and is that maybe part of why Gabriel's tyres just seem to last a little bit better than the other two Hondas?
Could be. And Muller was, I think, pushing on, and he was confident he was going to be able to have a strong go at it, but Muller is carrying a wee bit more weight than the Hondas, and I think at the end he decided best points in the bag, take him, and we'll look for the reverse grid and see what we can do from there in the next one. But I think Huffy was actually going to take some scrubs, almost new scrub tyres, unless he was saving them for race 2, where he's got a better grid position.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, because when he got the grid drop right to the back of the grid for failing the ride height, almost, not almost failing, almost the back of the grid, then yes, then plan B comes in. No point putting them on for race 1, put them on for race 2, where you're third on the grid, and where everybody else has got a much more limited selection of tyres with which to choose. And that might well explain his little gravel trapping excursion as well. He may have had tyres that had given up almost before they got onto the car. Well, Zengo Motorsport, the Hungarian team run by Zoltán Zengo, running this car for Norbert Mikulec. Great run in qualifying to third on the grid, finished third in race 1. Next week, a week from today, we'll be at the Hungaroring, racing in the sunshine of his home country with 100,000 voices perhaps cheering from trackside and millions more watching in their living rooms on the TV to see if Norbert Mikulec can do it again, can win in front of the world's best at his home track, as he did last year in the BMW. Well, he will start here in 8th place. Ivan Muller 7th on the grid. And Muller, again, you can never discount him. As Matt Neal said, he is a very doughty competitor.
You see his steely grin. He's got the eyes where, you know, as I said before, he comes to a circuit to get the job done. He doesn't come to make friends, to socialise. He comes with one intention, and that's to win races and win a championship. So he's a very formidable opponent for anybody to go up against.
He comes to work. Away from work, he's relaxed and friendly as you know, as anyone else in the paddock. But once he's got the helmet on, then don't mess around, because he's, as you say, he's there to do one job and one job only, and that's be the best that Ivan Muller can be. Tom Chilton, well, the car is back on the grid, so hopefully no major disasters befalling him here. 6th place start, off in the gravel, so I wonder what changes they've made to the car to try and make it a little less tremulous in his hands. Alex McDowell in 5th position. Calm down up in the northeast. Zoe Byrne will be jumping up and down with excitement. Sam News Motorsport wanted to mention, having tweeted me during the race. I'm sorry, we don't do that on air. So 5th place start for Alex McDowell. And again, he and James Nash, 5th and 3rd on the grid for Bamboo Engineering. They've really got their heads around this car this weekend and starting to make the sort of progress that they're looking for. Grid being cleared. And Rob Huff. Opportunity for the world champion in car number 1 from 4th on the grid to try and, well, not only insert himself onto the podium, Matt, but maybe if he has got a newer set of tyres than just about anybody else, although you'd imagine Coronel will keep fresh tyres, knowing he'll start race 2 on pole.
It's such a shame, because at Monza we never saw his true potential because of the skirmish he got into in Q1, which means he didn't get a good qualifying. And then he was going for the lead of the race at Marrakesh, could have won the race, and so it'd be nice for Huffy to get a good, you know, it just seems that set is incredibly fragile at the moment. He can't afford to get into any door handling with anybody. He's got to try and sort of make a break, but he's got the speed in it.
Yeah.
He's had good runs with Muller in the Chevy, and, you know, the speed seems very equal. He just needs the luck to go with him.
Well, James Nash, what about Nash? Third on the grid, leading the Yokohama Trophy points race. Was the Yokohama Trophy winner in race 1. That will be his prime focus, but he said to Ben Constanduras, of course we're looking for overall wins as well if we can, as every driver will be. Well, Coronel and Tarquini on scrubbed tyres. Now that means they've got no sticker, and they've lost that shiny sheen that they get from the silicone release agent that they use in tyre making moulds when they lay the rubber compound, the racing surface onto the tyre. Everybody else is on new tyres.
Now, an interesting stat, Martin, with that victory and Muller down in 4th, that means Tarquini is only 21 points behind Muller in the championship.
Yes, and
Muller can't afford to have that sort of result again.
Yeah. Well, now we're getting to the stage where if Gabrielli gets in front of Ivan from the start, then suddenly we're going to see some open warfare. But here is the man who will try and be in front of everybody from the start. Tom Coronel, one of the most cheerful, relentlessly cheerful drivers you will ever come across, will start race 6 from pole position.
Additives and motor oils made in Germany. Liqui Moly. The road to freedom. Japan quality. Yokohama. Your tire.
Tour de Azerbaijan. Moving ahead.
Holidays?
No.
Business?
No.
Friends?
No.
Why are you so far away from home?
I have no idea.
Liqui Moly. Additives and motor oils made in Germany. Japan quality. Yokohama. Your tire.
Is for the big occasions. Cars on the warm-up lap here in Slovakia over one of the 3 crests on this track. The bridge is there not to cross rivers or roads, there to allow access to this tightly folded infield. And one of the things that those rises do, Matt Neal, is give you blind crests and brows like we see on old parkland tracks like Alton Park and Donington in the UK. But they also give you difficult braking areas. You almost literally jump in over a crest into a hard braking area for a tight corner, and it adds a different sort of momentum to the lap.
Yeah, absolutely. When you come through the ultra-quick 6th gear turn 2, and then just over the top of the crest, you're starting to brake for turn 3. So the car's up on its tiptoes, it's unweighted, very easy to lock a brake up, as you've got a big braking area into a 180-degree hairpin in front of you. So it's adds a new dimension. It's a little unnerving when you're going around the track for the first time, because you literally can't see where the road is, and these guys have got to keep their foot hard in at 140 odd mile an hour, so it's a little different.
Just saw Tom Boardman's car. He has started from the grid, or he will start from the grid, so we'll wait and see whether he'll do full race distance there. From what I was hearing from the team earlier, it looks as though that's unlikely. There's Pepe Oriola now being referred to as Pepe Oriola Senior, which is a little tough. I think we should still call his son Pepe Oriola Junior, or maybe Pepe Oriola II, who knows. There are the Hondas that dominated in race 1, on board with our race winner, Gabriele Tarquini.
Now, the one thing about this race too, Martin, which is what I love, it's back to the standing start. So it's a lot more variables, and, you know, you've got the likes of Tarquini, who's ultra quick off the start. It's going to be interesting to see where he can get to from 10th. I'd like him, my bet is inside to the top 6, but Muller's easily as good off the start as well, so he's going to be pushing, and he's going to know full well that Tarquini is going to be fast out the blocks. But Coronel, the pole man, BMW rear-wheel drive, sits down, puts the power down well, so if he doesn't get into turn 1 first, he wants...
Yeah, he will be very disappointed. We'll think back to Suzuka when he had a great opportunity to get in front in race 2 there and blew it comprehensively. Well, there are some of the fans watching here. You saw almost no orange and black at all in the Zengo Motorsport garage. Perhaps there'll be a little bit more orange and black next weekend when we go to Hungary. Getting ready for the start. There's Norbert's girlfriend, his team boss in the background, Zoltán Zengo, the man whose name is on the tin, as Tom Coronel leads the field to the grid for round 6 of the World Touring Car Championship.
A lot of the drivers will have made little markings on the wall now. It's very hard to see the markings on the grid when you line up, and it's very critical. You can pick up penalties very easily. So they'll all have little marker tapes. You might see them. We don't see anything on the Armco there, but they'll have tapes or markings on the wall, which they can just pick up, line up with a wing mirror, make sure they're in the perfect position.
The grid is complete. Round 6 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. The Slovakia ring is about to start. On the right of your picture, poleman Tom Coronel. On the left, Pepe Oriola on the outside front row. James Nash and Rob Huff lurk behind. Red lights are on and away they go. Is it a good start from Coronel? It is. Good start from Dasner. Yellow flags flutter. Who's not moved? Nukia has not moved. Yes, he has. Now he's got a gear and an engine, and away he goes. Coronel leads. Oriola holding off Huff. Where is Nash? In the middle. And that's Tarquini! The red, white and green of Tarquini alongside Rob Huff for third, and sideways is Nashel McDowell, and off is Freddie Bart. Gabriele Tarquini, the single best starter of a racing car in the championship, is challenging... Oh, it's not, it's Montero. Even better, he's got in front of Tom Chilton, and Tarquini has got in front of championship leader Ivar Muller, and off is either Nash or it's the yellow one. That's Nash, isn't it? Not McDowell. McDowell's further back. He's had trouble as well at the start. Both Bamboo cars performed so well in race 1 and having a disaster in race 2. But what? Oh, it's not Chilton. It is Muller between the Hondas. So he's in front of Tarquini behind Montero. Goodness me, what's starting from those Honda drivers?
Yeah, it's Muller's worst nightmare to actually get one of the Hondas in front of him. They're still carrying the same weights as they were in race 1, so he's definitely got all the work to do. He's definitely going to be fed up with looking at the back of that Honda after staring at it for the whole of race 1.
Rob Huff in the red and black Seat, lying in 3rd place. Oh, little mistake from Montero. Did Muller get by? He did not, but he had a thought about it. In the background, incidentally, Tom Boardman has started picking up places, so this is not a bedding in run. Tom Boardman has now got his sleeves rolled up, metaphorically, if not literally, to race, but it is the other Tom, or one of the other Toms, Tom Coronel, that leads.
We're going to see a much more determined Muller in this race, because he can't afford to sit where he is, because he's going to be a sitting duck for Tarquini to start having to go at him.
There'll be a bit of Mullering going on. Here he comes, the red and white Aeon Chevrolet, right up behind the Honda of Thiago Montero. Montero's got to keep the door closed by sitting in the middle of the road. Less than ideal line. It's Coronel that leads from Oriola and Huff. Will that be our podium?
Muller's trying the switch back.
4th. Yep. Oh, and just avoids contact there. But that was millimetres away.
Yeah, it's all giving Huffy a bit of breathing space to try and get some air and make a break from Montero.
9 to go for Coronel. Oriola and Huff are with him. Whoa, Oriola's really piling on the pressure. He won last time out in Marrakesh, wants to do the same again. Montero having a look at Huff. Montero just out wide, gives the place to Muller. Has to back out and allow Tarquini through, but not much. Here comes Chilton around the outside into 2. His nemesis in free practice, or rather in morning warm-up. Around the outside he goes as, wow, action everywhere.
I think Thiago might have been helped there at turn 1 a wee bit.
You think he was mullered? Here comes Huff, trying to go around the outside of Oriola. Down the inside, cut back into turn 3. Can't get through, and Muller is right there, and Huff knows what that means. That means trouble with a capital Tr.
Well, this is perfect for Coronel at the moment because he's got everybody scrapping behind him and he's giving himself some clear air to try and look after his tyres. The front-wheel drives are going to be the ones running into the problems later on in the race.
Well, Coronel will happily let them get on with it if he can, but I'm not sure that Muller is in much of a position, or much of a mood, rather, to let Coronel run away.
The 3 champions, Huffy, Muller and Tarquini.
Yes.
All line astern. All hard hitters.
Yeah, absolutely. A Winnie's Prio in the mix, and we've got every World... Oh, and Roberto Ravaglia, of course, every World Touring Car champion. Well, Alex McDowell still going in 11th place. James Nash, I'm afraid, has not completed the lap. Nor has Nukia, nor has Freddie Bart. This is lap 2 for the leaders. Some of them still coming across the line in lap 1.
Puffy's definitely going to be smelling a good result here, but the problem he's got, even though Oriola's in a seat in front of him, they are 2 opposing teams. And Pepe's very good at absorbing a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You know, he's got an incredibly old head on his shoulders in that respect for his young age.
Well, you think back to Marrakesh, where there was no room for error because of the concrete walls down the side of the track. He absorbed everything that Ivan Muller had to show him. Everything. So, yeah, absolutely right. He'll defend as long as the day is long. And Huff at the moment, you see, the problem as well for Huff, and Matt, you know, as a driver, you'll appreciate that as soon as he has a lunge, he goes offline and leaves the door open somewhere for Muller to have a lunge on him. If it doesn't work, if Huff doesn't get by, instead of picking up a place, he's guaranteed to lose one.
Yeah, and having raced door handle to door handle with a van for the last 3 years, yeah, Huffy knows a lot of his tricks and where he's going to try it, where he thinks he's safe. He knows the strong points about the Chevy, the weak points about it, so...
This is Daste in red, white and green, and Mikulits in the black and orange. That is the battle for 8th place. Daste getting in front of Norby, and that is the leader. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars across the line as quickly as you can say it.
Fastest lap of the race to Tom Coronel.
Gonna have to be. He's gonna have to produce a couple more to get away from this. Daste drifts out wide. Mikulits having a little look back on the inside. Can't get through. I mean, an awful lot of Hungarian TV sets being shouted at from the sofas, I imagine, at the moment as they watch this action. Egging on their hero, Norbert Mikulits, to try and get back in front of Stefano Daste.
If Coronel can just hang on another 2 or 3 laps, then the race should start to come to him.
Well, Chilton got by Montero as well on that last lap, so Tom Chilton up to 6th place. It's Coronel, Oriola, Huff. And looking at the battle now, Muller has to go the outside.
That's it, has got very good punch out of the corners. Mid-range is very strong with the Eureka engine.
Yeah, no question at all about that. Tarquini now. Looked as though Huff and Muller might be dropping him, but in the slipstream behind them, he is starting to catch.
The other thing is even though they try and restrict the aerodynamic influence on these cars, you still have, you know, they're still generating a fair bit, a few hundred kilos of downforce, while Muller's tucked up behind Huff. 1, his engine temperatures, his brake temperatures are all going to be rising, but 2, he's going to be using his tyres up more so because he's not got the aero effect. Yeah. So here we go, he's going for it.
Down the inside, Rob Huff into turn 1, and that's pretty hard to defend. Huff will have to try and cut back on the inside and get a run into turn 2, and he's got a tiny overlap, but not enough. And right behind him is Tiago Montes, Gabriele Tarquini. He has got the overlap into turn 2, but has he gone in too shallow? Will he hold it on the exit, or will he have to just breathe off the throttle? No, he is back. And he's given Muller the headache of Tarquini right up his backside to worry about. Tarquini having a little look at the inside as he also defends from Chilton. We ride right behind with Montero. Matt, this is 7 cars in a train, and the only breathing space is between Coronel and Oriola at the moment.
That actually, I have to take your hat off to both of those, because that was good, close racing. Because it's, you know, it's obvious there's no love lost between Huff and Muller, so good bit of racing.
Rob Huff, car number 1. Ivan Muller right behind him, car number 12. The reigning world champion in the allinkle.com Seat and a 3-time world champion in the Aeon Lukoil Chevrolet. There's the Castrol Honda of Thiago Montero, lying in 7th place. And now, lying in 6th place, rather, because he got back by Tom Chilton. That's the 2nd place, the 2nd time that spot has changed hands. It looked as though Tom got a little held up behind Gabriele Tarquini. Franz Hengstler out of the race, didn't see why. Well, that was Miguel Nukia at the start. Lucky. That was very lucky. Replay of the start from our pole man. Whoa, yikes. James Nash and Alex McDowell, 3rd and 5th on the grid. Didn't have the best of lap 1s, though.
Another monstrous start from the Hondas, isn't it?
Well, Mash got tagged sideways by Gabriele Tarquini. In fairness, looking at that shot, Muller was on the inside of Tarquini. He had nowhere to go, but you do occasionally have to suggest that you've got to not put yourself into gaps that you can't get out of, and you're absolutely right. That big slide from Tiago in turn 1 was assisted.
But the other flip side of the coin is don't try and close the door when I've already got my foot in it.
Yeah, it's up to the faster car to safely pass the car in front of him.
Travelling salesman.
Yep, I know. Looking back at Huffy, Coronel is starting to ease away. Calm down, Pauline. It's still 6 laps to go. This is only lap 5, and only the first third of lap 5. Big slide in the middle of that little group, but well held. Looked like Coronel had a little bit of a slide there as the car rotated around corner 3 as well. Tarquini right behind Muller, just where he wants to be almost. 1 place further forward would be better for him.
Yeah, all these 3 are going to be wanting a strong result here. Tarquini wants to make points up on Muller in the championship. Muller definitely doesn't want Tarquini to pull any more points on the championship. And Huffy is just desperate for a result. Oh, Tarquini's put his nose in. Just pushing Muller's rear end out. Let him know he's there. See the telltale marks of Muller's rear tyre on his front bumper.
Matt, an awful lot of the people that were watching online yesterday in qualifying when, for technical reasons, they couldn't hear us telling them who was who. And again today saying that it's about time some of the teams made their cars more easy to identify. Bamboo and the Castrol Honda pair, for instance, being very hard to tell the difference between. Even though we've now got lovely, nice HD pictures and monitors. There's Gabriele easing inside Ivan. That was 3 cars in the length where 2 normally would fit.
Yeah, definitely letting him know he's there, isn't he?
Yep. Well, Ivan, king of the slide, hangs on to it. Rule 1 in the front-wheel drive car there is you just keep your foot buried and let the front wheels drive you through.
Well, Muller wasn't 10 times ice racing champion for nothing, was he?
Yeah, somebody actually asked me during the week on Twitter, why didn't he do it? Why doesn't he do it anymore? I think they politely asked him if he wouldn't mind perhaps giving somebody else a try. Huff down the inside, goes by Oriola for 2nd. Pepe's pulling over. No, he's not pulling over, but suddenly noticeably slower. Through goes Muller and Tarquini. Is he going to get the overlap? He is. Here he comes into turn 2. Huffy's in 2nd. It's all going off there 3 wide for 3rd, and Tarquini gets the best of that. Oriola's still outside him, and that's Muller. Oriola's still on the outside. Muller's got the run over the hill. He will get 3rd place now, and he does. Tarquini into 4th, Montero in 5th, and I think Oriola's tyres at some stage there went, OK, sorry, that's all we have.
That was classic of Van Muller. Oh. He was going backwards, and he doesn't go down without a fight, does he?
I tell you what,
he certainly came back.
Right behind them, Chilton and Mikulits are having a good old dust-up as well. Oriola's slipped down the order. Look at this, 3 wide into 2, and Pepe losing a lot of ground there. Muller back down the inside. It all worked well for him there. Tarquini couldn't get on the power. There was a car outside him. He would have had a huge shunt if he had. And Muller took advantage. Huff, you would think, is the race leader, but isn't. Coronel has checked out, but the queue behind them is getting longer and longer. Alex McDowell from Mehdi Banani, Stefano Daste and Daryl O'Young. That's 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So Huff in second, Coronel leads. This is starting to get really quite entertaining, as last year Slovakia Ring's layout producing some very good entertainment. Coronel 2 seconds clear at the beginning of the lap, and this is probably going to be getting on for 3 seconds after all of that sorting out for second place.
Well, bar Coronel at the front, and Coronel's only 2 seconds up the road. He only needs a few small mistakes, and he could soon be back with the pack. But the rest of them, you know, they're covered by a handkerchief. So, and we're now entering the second half of the race, or we have entered the second half of the race. Tyres are going to start to become a factor now.
Coronel from 2.06 has gone to 3.46 up. And that was all of that kerfuffle earlier on. Huff under pressure from Muller, pushing. Contact, but not too much contact, so he hangs on. Tarquini is in 4th, ahead of Montero, then Oriola and Chilton and Mikulits and Banani, Daste, O'Young, Nukia and Thompson in 14th. Here comes Rob Huff, and right behind in the background, Tom Chilton still fighting off Norbert Mikulits. Pepe Oriola is just behind the Castrol Hondas, but again drifts out very wide on board with Oriola, and surely Chilton and Mikulits are going to come calling very soon. Huff drifts wide as Muller holds a very tight line in the battle for 3rd. There is Mikulits, Chilton right in front of him. And Matt Neal, you hardly know where to look. I mean, this is one of the times I feel very sorry for our race director, because Olivier has got all these, a picture from every monitor showing him action. He's got to try and figure out which one is most important.
Well, there's only 2 places to watch at the moment. That's this battle we're watching at right now, and the Muller-Tarquini Huff, which is with Montero on the back of them, which is it can't finish the way it is at the moment. Something's got to happen.
Whoa, we got 2 gangs of 4 and then a group of 3 behind, and in the background, as the camera tracked with Huff, Tarquini had a little bit of a drift out wide, and so he's now got Montero breathing his exhaust fumes even more as, again, the orange and black car of Norbert Mikulits tries to find a way around Tom Chilton's red and white Chevy. Chilton, whatever they did to the setup of the car, he seems a lot happier with controlling it. Looking it back from Rob Huff, from 2nd to 3rd, from the reigning champion to the deposed champion. That is Ivar Muller's Chevy right behind us.
And Muller does seem to pick up in the second half of this start-finish straight. It is ultra long. Does seem to pick up a good toe from the back of that Seat, and then he can pressurise Huffy right into turn 1.
Well, Huff and Muller have both spent a lot of the last 4, 5, 6 years holding each other off, haven't they? In the same car. For the first time ever in their history together, Huffy is holding off Muller in different cars. Now, he knows where the Chevy is strong compared to what he's driving now. But is that going to help him? If you know where your weak point is that enough to help you defend it?
Problem is, Muller can't go out all-out attack because Tarquin is too close. It's too dangerous.
Fantastic close racing, fantastic close clean racing. Muller's up the inside. Has he got a run on Huff? Oriola being passed by Chilton. No, Pepe's still there on the inside. And in the end, Muller has to give up that run because Tarquini was too close behind. He had to get the door shut and hang on to the place. And again, Chilton could not get by Oriola, but now look, he's got Stefano Dasti, and Daryl O'Young's BMW has joined in as well. Daryl O'Young, from 22nd on the grid, is 11th. And in fact, third of the Indies, third of the Yokohama Trophy drivers is Daryl O'Young. So O'Young having a storming race too. And in fact, Tom Coronel out front, his Royal Motorsport teammate, we have seen almost nothing of. He is still out front, but it's the four-way battle for second and the four-way battle here for sixth that we are looking at intently. There's the battle for second. Huff and Muller, Tarquini and Montero on board with Thiago.
Breathe in.
Yeah, miss your teammate. And then look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars in this queue. And an eighth is joining in behind as Daste comes, and Nukia and Bart. Freddie Bart getting by James Thompson. Huff's done a pretty solid job of defence, you have to say.
We've got two laps. Yeah, we've got 2 laps at the end of this lap, so something has got to happen in the Huff-Muller-Tarquini scenario. They're saying they're still struggling with power in that Honda, but it doesn't look slow in a straight line to me.
Now then, Muller's got a run on Huff, but Huff is going to make him go the very long way around the outside.
He's trying to come back.
Here he comes, and Huffy went in too shallow and loses 2 places. Defended too long, too hard on the inside line, and through goes Ivan. The classic, sold him the dummy, cut back to the inside, and Gabrielli snaffled up a place as well. And meanwhile, Oriola holding off Chilton. Does that leave the door open for the orange and black car of Norbert Mikulits? Yes, it does. Chilton on the outside. He's going to get hung out to dry. Oriola will lead the queue, well, let's say on the inside line rather than the low groove, down into the hairpin. Mikulits is not going to let Chilton back in. Now the road takes a while, but eventually comes back to the driver's left, and Chilton will have the spot back. There he does.
Yeah, Michelitz could have hung on round there. It's the big, long turn 6 they're going into now. So
bobble from Chilton again. Ditch hooked across the apex, and it just pitched the back of the car out on him. That bump steer, just rear steering that Chevy.
Oriola's definitely hanging on to that P6, isn't he?
I tell you what, yeah, absolutely. With his fingernails. Doesn't like to give a place up, does he? And Daryl O'Young in the yellow, red and white LKM BMW there, all over the back of Mehdi Benani. That's the battle for being second of the BMWs.
Just to let everyone know, Coronel still 3.9 seconds up the road ahead of Huff, who's now right on the tail, has Muller right on his tail.
Yeah. Well, of course, Muller's not on his tail. Yeah, exactly. The timing screen takes half a lap to update itself because the second sector is so long. And so it is Muller in second, but he'll be the better part of 4 seconds back.
That's my faux pas.
Yeah, it is. And
the training school. Gosh.
Yeah. Easy to be misled by facts and figures. Tom Chilton looking back from Pepe Oriola. There's Norbert Mikulits, the orange and black car, and everybody else involved. Alex McDowell's got a good run, and what's happened to Mikulits? The car suddenly slowed. Turbo pipe come off, something with the electronics. Mikulits is out of the running. Through, and there is... Where's our car, says the Royal Motorsport team wall. Your car is still out front. Chilton drives around Oriola, still sitting on the outside, down to turn 2, or up and then down to turn 2. McDowell's coming. Alex McDowell trying to salvage something out of this, leading the Yokohama points, as James Nash did in race 1. So for Bamboo, they're going to get 2 Yokohama Trophy wins out of this weekend at the moment. Chilton's still on the outside.
McDowell trying to hang Chilton out.
Now, if he can keep an overlap here, Tom, he doesn't quite manage to. It's a very long way round the outside, Matt. You're only 1 car's width away, but it's enough, 3 or 4 metres extra. That's more than the car's length you lose just in terms of where you're driving, never mind your speed.
Oriola's really hanging on through there.
Yep.
Just needs 1 mistake and Chilton will be through.
Last lap of the race. There's your race leader, Tom Coronel. Do not slide it onto the dirt. You're only 2.9 seconds in front of Muller. Came down from 4 to under 3 seconds last lap. Tarquini right behind Muller, and that's what's pushing along. Behind Huff is Montero, but it's Tarquini that's pushing Muller along, spurring him on to even greater excesses of speed and grip around this Slovakia ring circuit. Huffy trying to hold on to 4th, ahead of Montero. Honda 1, 2, 3 in race 1, certainly not going to be repeated here in race 2. And at the moment, Tom Coronel, with one long right-hand corner to go, has enough of an advantage. Let's follow him. Pepe Oriola further back has got pressure from Tom Chilton. Is that going to happen? It's not. Oriola will cling to the tight inside line, as will Benani from Ouyang. And let's watch as the race will be won by Tom Coronel. Royal Motorsport victorious here in Slovakia. Second for Muller, third for Tarquini by a fraction, fourth for Rob Huff, and delight for Roberto Ravaglia and the Royal Motorsport crew. Tom Coronel did not let them down, did not let himself down, did not disappoint, as he wins from pole position here. Round 5 of the championship, a Honda whitewash. Round 6, a BMW victory. So in the 6 races this season, we've had 5 different winners so far. Only Yvonne Muller rather greedily hoovering up both wins at Monza to break that tradition. Well, Tom Coronel will be hot, exhausted and uncaring. He will be thrilled with that. Not an easy win. There's no such thing in a world championship. Power sliding his way around the circuit in exuberant fashion. Nice one, Tom.
Additives and motor oils made in Germany. Liqui Moly.
The road to freedom. Japan quality. Yokohama. Your tire.
Tour de Azerbaijan. Moving ahead.
Holidays?
No.
Business?
No.
Friends?
No.
Why are you so far away from home?
I have no idea.
Liqui Moly. Additives and motor oils made in Germany.
Japan quality. Yokohama. Your tire.
Well, cars heading into Parc Fermé here in Slovakia. Among them, Tom Coronel, our race 2 winner at the Slovakia ring. Yvonne Muller leading the championship from Gabriele Tarquini, just crept out another couple of points in front of the Italian to a 24-point margin. Yes, 24-point margin. I was, again, questioning my own mental arithmetic. As into victory lane comes the Valvoline and TW Steel sponsored BMW of Tom Coronel. Need to get a dynamic sticker on his helmet as well, Matt. And I'm not sure anything goes on his helmet for free. Oh,
I don't think they're too happy of denting the roof like that.
Well, it'll push back out.
Thank you, boys.
2 champions. Talking about a close, tight race between them.
Actually, there was some cracking racing there. Real good close racing. Little bit physical, not over the top.
Well, Neil Williams asking whether the short turnaround between the races made drivers a little more circumspect maybe in race 1 that they might have been, knowing that race 2 was coming immediately afterwards.
I think Muller's always up for a scrap, and he knew he got grid advantage in the second race. So
Well, Tom...
It's great to see Coronel back on the podium in the winner's spot again.
And immediately presenting his own TV programme as well. Little chat there with Rick Winkleman, who puts the programmes together with him. And the guys from Inside World Touring Car Championship, again, chatting to Ivan. So you can see that Tuesday evening on Eurosport, the inside story of this race weekend in Slovakia. But let's hear from Tom Coronel. Ben Consturis is with him.
An emphatic victory here for Tom Coronel. I mentioned it at the start of the weekend, and you said, no way, absolutely no point. In race 1, you thought you had a chance, didn't you?
Yeah, I told the mechanics after race 1, don't touch the car. But they took it a little bit too literally, because they didn't even clean the window. No, car was nice, car was consistent. Beginning on Riola was a little bit faster, so I had to vent. We knew that the front two drives would drop off a little bit. Then I saw it, and I said, okay, now I have to push to take the gap for no slipstream. Finally, we got it.
And Tom, this is the first time you've won a World Touring Car race outside of Japan.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But I would like to win Japan as well. Don't forget that one. No, it's good, you know, BMW, we've worked very hard. Robo Motorsport is committed, it's like a family. Roberto is a racer himself, so he understands. Sometimes I make mistakes, but this time I think I didn't make any mistakes, so I was very happy. I was just counting, you know, how many laps to go. I wanted to give the oversteer to the car, but it was good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, a lot of wives and girlfriends here in the garages. Lots more watching at home. Rob Huff offers his congratulations. Huffy just off the podium in 4th.
Where we go?
And Huff Daddy. Oh, come on, Tom. You remember where the podium is. Well, maybe not here, but plenty of opportunity to discover it now. Victory in Slovakia ring for Roal Motorsport. And Tom, as ever, understated in celebration. Do you know, I'm sure he would have gone for the full Alex Zanardi donuts, except, you know, that's got to be another €5,000 fine, hasn't it?
We will sway in turn 2.
Well, let's get down to our Yokohama Trophy winner. Race 1 was Bamboo's James Nash. Race 2, it's Alex McDowell.
An incredibly hard fight for Alex McDowell for the Yokohama Trophy win. I think you were off the circuit at the start of the race, weren't you?
Yeah, it was all action-packed at the start of the race, so we didn't make a particularly good start, which kind of puts you out on the outfield into turn 1, which isn't great, so I done that in race 1 as well, so I kind of knew where to go. And then from then on, everyone was kind of struggling with the cold tyres, and we picked a few off on that lap. And then from then on, it was quite a dogfight till the end. I caught the leaders up quite quickly. I think we made a few setup changes which really helped us that race. We definitely had the setup to be third, but it's just a shame about the start again. We need to look at some more data and see if we can kind of tweak what I'm doing wrong.
Thanks very much. Let's head to the podium.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations to both James Nash and Alex McDowell, and to Richard and the rest of the guys at Bamboo Engineering. Victory in both races in the Yokohama Trophy. And Tom Coronel, not a Yokohama Trophy contender. I think, like Ivan Muller in ice racing, they asked him if he wouldn't mind giving somebody else a chance occasionally a few times. But Coronel, outright race winner here. Our 4th different winner in 4 races, our 5th different winner in 6 this season. Ivan Muller is still the World Championship points leader from Gabriele Tarquini. And a good solid result for Rob Huff in 4th place, not in front of the 2 lead contenders. But Matt Neal, important that he got a good race, a competitive race, got lots of, you know, wheel-to-wheel, bumper-to-bumper action under his belt to really start understanding that Seat.
Yeah, I think there's one. I think Huff is going to be going. I don't know what's happening inside Huff's car, but for sure he's going to be going away a little bit disappointed. You know, he had a definite podium, and to be sort of done by Muller and Tarquini in the closing laps, that won't please Rob. And for sure, Muller's going to be leaving here thinking, the Hondas didn't go off in the race, which, you know, they were hoping. So that means Tarquini could be a consistent threat now going forward, which for us watching as the championship unfolds is fantastic. For him, trying to put a championship win together is not so good.
Yeah, absolutely right. So it is a tight battle to win races here, and a long one to win the championship title. Round 6 of the World Touring Car Championship at the Slovakia ring, and even more pressure than in round 5. Tom Coronel starting from pole position, his best chance in a while to win a race. And it was not one he was to squander, but as the BMW driver cleared off, everybody else, it seemed, was getting involved behind. Rob Huff looked as though he was going to claim a podium finish. That drifted away from him. And it was the reliable old stages, Ivan Muller and race 1 winner Gabriele Tarquini, who finished up, joining Coronel on the podium. Huff in 4th, ahead of Thiago Montero's Honda, as the 3rd podium finishing Honda from race 1 of Norman Mikulits retired before the end of the race. But with a great result in race 1, that sets him up nicely for the Hungaroring a week from today. And at a track where the BMWs have fared well, maybe Roal will do well in Hungary as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto the podium for round 6 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship, the winner, Tom Coronel. In 2nd, Ivan Muller, and in 3rd, Gabriele Tarquini.
Well, Ben introduces our top 3. Our Yokohama Trophy winner from race 2 is Alex McDowell.
The winning manufacturer, Roberto Ravaglia, team manager of Royal Motorsport. And now the national anthem of the winning driver.
Delighted Tom Coronel, the Dutch anthem rings out for the winner of round 6 of the World Touring Car Championship, and the German anthem for our winning manufacturer, BMW.
Congratulations, gentlemen. To present the trophy, Mr. Joseph Francis, CEO of the Slovakia ring, presents the trophy 3rd place to Gabriele Tarquini.
So, Gabriele Tarquini will return in a moment for the race 1 podium, which, of course, he was the winner of. Thomas Franke, the boss of the Slovakia ring, hands the trophy to the Italian. 2nd place in race 2 for Ivan Muller. And the race winner, Tom Coronel, being applauded by Pepe Oriola, who also could well have finished up on the podium here. Roberto Ravaglia, the first ever World Touring Car Champion. OK, well, they're handing the trophy to Alex McDowell first. No, oh dear, see, now they were rehearsing this for ages yesterday, but not with the boss. There's Roberto. 1987, in a Schnitzer BMW, won the World Touring Car Championship. And the Yokohama Trophy, the boss of sales in the Czech Republic and Slovakia. From Yokohama, handing the trophy, there's Alex's proud dad. Roal, Roberto, R.O. and Aldo Prio, A.L. They are the principals of the team. And, of course, Umberto Grano, a multiple European touring car champion, also very involved. There's Aldo Prio. And they will come back on, some of them in a moment or two, for podium for race 1. But the championship, led by Ivan Muller, the Yokohama Trophy, still led by James Nash. Just 4 points now in front of Michael Nukia, after a disappointing second race for Nash, where he finished way down the order in 8th place in the Yokohama standings. Tom Boardman getting a point today, his first of the season after 4 engine changes. All sorts of dramas throughout the race. In both races, Rob Huff running out of grip. Tom Chilton likewise in race 1. And a close run thing for the Hondas at the start of the first race. But in the end, it was a Honda 1-2-3. Their grid result was confirmed by their race result. The 2 Castrol Hondas ahead of the Zengo Motorsport driver. As Roal's Daryl O'Young. There is your race winner from the first race here. Round 5 of the championship was a Honda clean sweep. Will we see another one again this season? Will we see one soon this season? Joining the man on the podium is James Nash, the Yokohama Trophy winner from race 1, looking very downcast after finishing only 17th in race 2. Lots of Norby chants going on already. The Italian national anthem for our race-winning driver, and the Japanese anthem for our winning manufacturer, Honda.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto the podium.
And all the national flags of the top 3 with green and white in it, green and red in them. Portuguese, of course, green and red, and the Italian and Hungarian flags, red, white and green. So our 3rd place trophy. A moderate cheer for Norbert Mikulits, moderate compared to what we're going to hear next weekend, that's for sure, in Hungary. 2nd place for Thiago Monteiro, big day for Thiago. Brand new shell after the wreckage of Marrakesh. A lot of work in Gabrielli's car as well after he took off in race 2 to get that repaired. And they repaid all the hard work of the Yas team with victory. Winning driver in race 1 in Slovakia. And the winning driver in the Yokohama Trophy, James Nash. And Honda, the winning manufacturer for the first time this year. The first time for their official factory involvement. Yokohama Trophy winner James Nash. Well done indeed to both Bamboo Engineering drivers. They didn't have 2 good races each, but they both had a good race. And that goes a long way to boosting James's confidence, I think, in the car. Well, I wonder if anybody at Honda, and certainly anybody at Yas, would have dared dream of a clean sweep of the podium 3 race weekends in. Matt Neal, that's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, definitely started, they've hit the ground running, as you say, so it's a great start, and it's pretty ominous for the rest of the grid. You know, it's Honda are back, and Honda mean business, and it's going to be whether Muller can hang on and give a good challenge for the championship at the end.
Get the car started. We've got a week to make it to Hungary. We'll see you there. Bye for now.